Now, this is Laukna. Laukna means to see something from a distance. So this is the place where Virudhaka Raja saw the Buddha sitting under a leafless tree from a distance. The Virudhaka Raja was going to slaughter the Sakyas when he saw the Buddha sitting on his path. So he asked the Buddha to sit under a leafy tree. But the answer the Buddha gives causes him to disband his army. Folks, what answer did the Buddha give? To understand it, you'll have to view the entire video. So I have shown you Dharmanpur where Sariputra, he debated with the heretics, with the Hindus, and he won the debate. And then I showed you Murao, which is the stupa and the vihara which Visakhas made for the Buddha to preach, and the Buddha used to live there. And after that, Zhang takes us south of Murao to Laukna. The stupa's name is Laukna. See, you must thank Ashoka for securing all these vague Buddhist stories with stupas, and thank Zhang for documenting all these stupas in a systematic manner so that I have managed to locate them. So that is Laukna. Laukna means to see something from a distance. Laukna means to see something from a distance. Now Virudhaka Raja, he wanted to slaughter the Sakyas. He wanted to kill the Sakyas. He hated them because they had disgraced him. When he had gone to study in Kapilavastu. So he gathers a huge army and he marches to destroy the Sakyas. A bhikshu hears about it and he reports this to the Buddha. So the Buddha, the route which the army was taking, on that route, the Buddha, he sits under a leafless tree. Virudhaka Raja sees him from a distance. So he stops his army and then he goes and then he pays homage to the Buddha. He respects the Buddha. And then he says, why are you sitting under a leafless tree? See, a distance away there are a lot of leafy trees. You can sit in the shade of those trees. Why are you sitting under a leafless tree? The Buddha replies, if my clansmen are all dead, I also become the Buddha also becomes a leafless tree. Yeah. So if his leaves are going to wither away and die, if his clansmen are going to be slaughtered, what was the use of him sitting under a leafy tree? Virudhaka Raja, he repents and then he disbands his army and then he goes back. He tells the Buddha that you have told me such a thing, you have opened my eyes. He disbands his army and goes back. Folks, that is Laukna. Laukna, to see from a distance. That is the place where Virudhaka Raja saw the Buddha from a distance. Folks. So check out what Zhang has to say. Now let's see where Virudhaka Raja saw the Buddha from a distance and disbanded his army. On the south of the stupa erected on the spot where Buddha acceded. On the south of the stupa erected on the spot where Buddha acceded to Visakhas' request is the place where Virudhaka Raja, having raised an army to destroy the family of the Sakyas on seeing Buddha, dispersed his soldiers. After King Virudhaka had succeeded to the throne, stirred up to hatred by his former disgrace, he equipped an army and moved forward with a great force. The summer heat being ended and everything arranged, he commanded an advance. At this time, a bhikshu, having heard of it, told Buddha, on this the Lord of the world was sitting beneath a withered tree. Virudhaka Raja, seeing him thus seated some way off, alighted from his chariot, got down from his chariot and paid him reverence. Then, as he stood up, he said, There are plenty of green and umbrageous trees. Why do you not sit beneath one of these, instead of under this withered one with dried leaves where you walk and sit? The Lord said, my honorable tribe is like branches and leaves. These being about to perish, what shade can there be for one belonging to it? Means his family was dear to him, and it was not worth living without them. The king said, the Lord of the world, by his honorable regard for his family, is able to turn my chariot. Then looking at him with emotion, he he disbanded his army and returned to his country. So this is what you call it. This shows the respect even enemies had for the Buddha. This shows the respect even enemies had for the Buddha. See, on the south of the stupa, erected on the spot where Buddha acceded to Visakhas' request, is the place where Virudhaka Raja, having raised an army to destroy the family of the Sakyas, on seeing Buddha dispersed the soldiers. On seeing Buddha dispersed his soldiers. Now where is it? South of Muraupurva it was. Muraupurva is the stupa which where the Buddha acceded to Visakhas' request. Now south of that is Laukna. Laukna means to see. So this is where the Virudhaka Raja saw the Buddha. So he had prepared his army to attack and kill the Sakyas, but he saw the Buddha from a distance. Laukna means that. He got out from his chariot and went to the Buddha and told him, why are you sitting under a dried, leafless tree? Sit under a leafy one. At which Buddha says that my family is like the dried leafless tree. If what's the use if the leaves of my tree are going to die? So what's the use of sitting under a leafy tree then? So this Virudhaka Raja, he is affected by what the Buddha replied, and he disbands his army. So this is Laukna. Laukna means to see. This is where he saw the Buddha. So folks, check out the pictures of the stupa where this incident took place. It is a village now, and you're lucky that a village settled on it, because of that village we know where the stupa is. Check out the pictures of Laukna.
So folks, I have shown you Laukna in satellite pictures, and you read what Huen Tsang had to say about Laukna. Folks, thanks Huen Tsang. This is the spot where Virudhaka Raja saw the Buddha sitting under a leafless tree from a distance. We are on a stupa. These are photos of above the stupa. What happened was Virudhaka Raja hated the Sakyas because they had disgraced him. They called him low birth, etc. So he gathers a great army to go and slaughter all the Sakyas. A bhikshu hears about it and he informs the Buddha. So the Buddha, what he does is, he sits on the path of the army which Virudhaka Raja was taking. So Virudhaka Raja sees the Buddha from a distance. See the respect. He was going to slaughter the Buddha's clansmen, but he had terrific respect for the Buddha. Very terrific respect for the Buddha. So he sees the Buddha sitting under a leafless tree from a distance. That is Laukna. That is the stupa's name. Thanks to Ashoka, named the stupa such. So he sees the Buddha sitting from a distance, and then he gets off his chariot and he stops his army, and then he walks up to the Buddha and tells him that he wants the Buddha out of the way so that his army can continue without the Buddha seeing his army going to attack his kinsmen. So he walks up to the Buddha and pays homage to him, and then tells him, requests him, why are you sitting under a leafless tree? There are so many leafy trees a little distance away. Why don't you sit under them? It is more shady and it will be more comfortable. The Buddha replies, what use is a leafy tree if my leaves are going to wither and vanish? Means, what use is it for the Buddha to live if his clansmen are going to be slaughtered? Wither and vanish means his clansmen being slaughtered. So Virudhaka Raja, he looks at the Buddha and these words prevail upon him. He tells him that, my lord, you have caused me to change my mind. And then he, asked forgiveness and then went and disbanded his army and, he disbanded his army in Laukna. So this is the beauty of this story, how, the Buddha, he protected his clan. So folks, I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did so, don't forget to follow, like and subscribe to my page, Buddha Exhumed, and don't forget to tell your friends and relatives about this page.